The other two who've been arrested, they have been arrested from Nalbari by the Nalbari District Police. They are Mohammad Habel Ali, a 26-year-old, and Abu Raihan, another 26-year-old. Now they have links with the Al-Qaeda in Indian subcontinent module, and they've been booked under various sections of the Indian Penal Code. Preeti Priyadarshini joining us with more details. Yes, Preeti.
Yes, so actually four have been arrested, and these four are from two districts, it's Samulpur and Nalbari. However, we are earlier informed about the arrest in Nalbari, and now we have been informed that two more have been arrested from Samulpur as well. And these four, the links have been found with jihadi activities in Assam. And we have seen that in the recent times also a lot of jihadi activities have been busted by Assam police, and now this incident comes up where four people have been arrested. Sadiq Ali, who is 38 years, and he hails from Hauli in Barpeta. We have seen that Barpeta has a very common connection when it comes to jihadi. It's the same names. It's the same names like Barpeta, Nalbari, and these names have been found in earlier cases as well, where these jihadis have been arrested. However, earlier when we tried to talk with the ADGP of Special Branch, with Hiren Nath, he also stated about how these places have certain activities being found. We have seen that certain religious functions where people from other parts, especially from Bangladesh, also comes in, and some jihadi, they try to propagate some jihadi activities in the places like Barpeta, Nalbari, and so. And now also we can see that these four people have been arrested from Tamulpur and Nalbari. So definitely these the investigation is on, and the SP has also stated that they are trying to dig into the case about the connections, how deep was that, and how far they tried to spread their roots.
Right. So Mohammad Habel Ali, a 26-year-old who's the son of Abdul Basha, has been arrested. Abu Raihan, a 26-year-old son of Hasmat Ali, has been arrested, both from district Nalbari and from Tamulpur. The two who have been arrested with links with the Ansar Allah Bangla terror outfit, and also linked with the Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent. 38-year-old Sadiq Ali, who's been teaching in a madrasa in Tamulpur. He hails from Barpeta. And 23-year-old Jakibul Ali, he's a small-time businessman in Namati. So these are the people who've been arrested. Preeti, thank you for your inputs. Winding up this edition of The Nation at 5 on that note. Viewpoint follows. Stay with us.
Good evening, hello and welcome to Viewpoint. I'm Anusha Soni. The Liquorgate storm is back to haunt the Aam Aadmi Party and its leader Manish Sisodia. It's been more than 7 hours and the grilling of the Delhi Deputy Chief Minister continues by the Central Bureau of Investigation. While the Aam Aadmi Party made a huge hue and cry about the summoning of Manish Sisodia, the Aam Aadmi Party workers also hit the streets, calling the entire case merely a political vendetta. To the Aam Aadmi Party, is it fair to reduce a due process of law to an opportunity for scoring political points? At the same time, the BJP has also been accused of misusing the central agencies right before Gujarat elections. In this political war of words, would we ever know whether the liquor policy of the Delhi government was a compromised one or not? It seems that once again, a high-profile investigation shall become a fertile ground for political parties to settle their own scores. Our top focus on Viewpoint tonight.
2 months after CBI officials raided his residence in connection with irregularities in the Delhi government's excise policy, Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia was summoned for questioning by the agency. And the Aam Aadmi Party pulled out all stops to turn the summons into a show of strength. Sisodia left home after a tilak ritual, accompanied by top leaders of the party. As AAP workers lined the streets, he took out a roadshow in an open-roof SUV, waving to the crowds. He declared that his arrest was imminent due to upcoming elections in Gujarat.
ये लोग मुझे जेल में डालने की तैयारी इसीलिए कर रहे हैं क्योंकि इनको लगता है कि मैं गुजरात जाऊंगा तो लोगों के स्कूल बनने की उम्मीद और मजबूत होगी। गुजरात में गुजरात में भारतीय जनता पार्टी बुरी तरह से हार रही है और आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनने वाली है।
Sisodia even made a stop at Mahatma Gandhi's memorial and compared himself to the father of the nation.
जिस तरह से बापू को षड्यंत्र में फंसा के अंग्रेजों की सरकार ने झूठे मुकदमे कर करके जेल में भेजा, आज मेरे ऊपर भी एक फर्जी मुकदमा करके मुझे जेल भेजने की तैयारी की जा रही है।
Finally, Sisodia made his way inside CBI's headquarters, where he was presented with evidence in the case and statements of the other accused. As he was questioned, AAP workers gathered outside CBI's office, raising slogans and protesting against the summons. Several AAP leaders were promptly detained by the police.
The senior police officials are on the ground. The SHO, local SHO from this area, Lodi Colony area, is now making announcements asking them to vacate from this location. The Vajra Vahan has also been placed in position.
AAP convener and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal firmly put his weight behind his deputy, even tweeting a cartoon depicting Sisodia as a hero.
अभी उन्होंने गुजरात आना था, लेकिन आज इन लोगों ने मनीष सिसोदिया को गिरफ्तार कर लिया। वो नहीं चाहते कि मनीष सिसोदिया गुजरात में जाके चुनाव का प्रचार करें। मैं मनीष जी को कहना चाहता हूं, आप चिंता मत करो, आपके ना आने से प्रचार बंद नहीं होने वाला। ये सारी जनता प्रचार कर रही है, घर घर जाके प्रचार कर रही है।
The BJP claimed AAP is behaving like it has won the World Cup of corruption.
ये जश्न भ्रष्टाचार है। जिस प्रकार से मनीष सिसोदिया आज एक खुले कार में अपने समर्थकों के साथ नारे लगाते हुए, फूल माला डाले हुए निकले हैं, it seems as if the Aam Aadmi Party has won the World Cup of corruption.
Sisodia is accused number 1 in CBI's FIR on the now scrapped excise policy, which handed over the sale of liquor to private players, shutting down government-run outlets in the capital. So is it political vendetta, or is the law catching up with Manish Sisodia?
Well, to tell you more about what's happening at the CBI office, where that questioning continues for the last 7 hours, I'm cutting across to my colleague Arunima, who's tracking all the developments for us. Arunima, over to you. What do we know about the line of questioning? Do we know when it's likely to get over?
Oh, a tough question there to answer as to when it will get over. It's already been 8 hours now, and the well-lit CBI headquarters is still buzzing, even though most of their top leadership is at Pragati Maidan, where the Interpol conference is getting underway. Tomorrow, their executive council is meeting. Even the team which is questioning him was supposed to be there, but sudden change in plans means they had to prepare and come here. They're ready with their questions, we were told this morning, questions which had documents as well. He was confronted with papers which showed that the excise policy was not flawed. The sanctions that were required under law were missing, that there were gaps in the way the excise policy was decided upon. The charge that also there were benefits made to those private players who benefited from the excise policy, and there were credit notes issued to them by people believed to be close to Mr. Sisodia. Now, how did CBI learn of all this? They have confronted, we are told, Mr. Sisodia with the papers that they have seized during the course of searches, and also the interrogation of the accused who were arrested, namely Vijay Nair. The Aam Aadmi Party insists that he is only associated with the social media wing of the party, but CBI has reasons to believe that he was somebody close to Mr. Sisodia, part of the decision in excise policy. So whatever he has said, the evidence that ED has picked up after questioning Sanjay Mahendru, which in some parts has been shared with CBI, and the arrest of Abhishek Bonapalli from Hyderabad, all of that was put on the table, and Mr. Sisodia's questioning is still on.
Mr. Sisodia's questioning is still on. Arunima, how much of substance this argument really has, that when there were multiple raids that happened at Sisodia's residence and at his office, there was nothing that was found, and CBI is actually running a political witch hunt. I know the political witch hunt part of it is best left to the political party spokesperson, but as far as the recoveries from the raids are concerned, do we know anything about that?
So to answer the second question first about political witch hunt, I put that question to CBI officials, and they've come out with a one-line statement saying that this is, investigation that we are doing, nothing to do with the politics. We have lodged an FIR. He's a named accused. How can we be prevented from questioning him? That's part of our job. So that's to answer the political vendetta part. Now, as far as recovery is concerned, this is a case which deals with the policy matters. If you go back to the big-ticket cases that CBI has investigated in recent past in regards to policy, take the example of 2G, take the example of common Commonwealth Games. What was the main thing that CBI had to prove there? It was the paper trail. So in this case also, if you argue that no material evidence has been recovered, CBI officials are turning around and say, well, that's obvious because this investigation is based on paper trail, is based on money trail, and that is what we are trying to put together. They have not made the charge that Mr. Sisodia has directly been paid money and therefore his lockers or his bank accounts may not turn up anything. But Vijay Nair, Arjun Pandey and Mr. D. Arora, people who have been accused of being close to Mr. Sisodia, charge has been made that they were paid crores of rupees. Why were they paid? Was it indirectly reaching Mr. Sisodia? That's the question CBI officials want the Deputy Chief Minister to clarify, to answer.
I don't know when the day is going to end for you, Arunima, because we don't know when that questioning will end. Thank you so much for getting us all the updates. We'll keep coming back to you for more. Well, opening up this question for our guest as well, is this the law catching up or merely a political vendetta? Charu Pragya of the BJP, she's the national spokesperson. Saurav Bhardwaj is also joining us from the Aam Aadmi Party. He's the spokesperson. Mr. Yashovardhan Azad, who's the former IPS officer, and Mr. Namit Saxena, who's a lawyer. Charu, let me come first to you. You had none other than the Delhi Chief Minister and the Aam Aadmi Party convener, Arvind Kejriwal, once again reiterating you are misusing central agencies, you did not find anything in the raids, and you're merely scared because there are Gujarat elections just around the corner.
Anusha, we've been seeing all kinds of news stories are being floated by Aam Aadmi Party. But whatever the stories, at the core of this, one thing is evident. There has been a scam in of an excise policy. Once investigations began, this excise policy was withdrawn. This on itself, prima facie, I think, is enough evidence. If the excise policy was so perfect, why take it back? The question still remains to be seen how many people who were either already debarred, whose licenses have been extended, undue favors to friends have been given, how much this actually goes back to not just Mr. Manish Sisodia, but also to the CM of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal ji. And this is what CBI is doing. Also, this whole theatrics and drama today is shameful. What is the Delhi CM trying to say? I read his tweet. He is saying, jail ke taale tootenge. Are you actually promoting lawlessness? Being the Chief Minister of the capital of India? Is that what?
Charu, your connection is a little patchy. We can hear you, but it's a little patchy. I'll just try and fix that and come back to you. Saurav, in the meanwhile, I want to come to you. Why make a spectacle if Mr. Manish Sisodia is being questioned? The Aam Aadmi Party has said it from the beginning that we'll cooperate with the process of law. You want to conduct raids, conduct raids. You want to question us, question us. If you have anything that you want from us, we are ready to provide to you. So when Manish Sisodia was summoned to the office today, why there were political rallies or some kind of show of strength on the streets of the national capital?
First thing, the cadre of Aam Aadmi Party, the volunteers and the leaders of Aam Aadmi Party came with Mr. Manish Sisodia to show that they are standing with Mr. Manish Sisodia, and we are very proud of the fact that today in these times when it's like a second war of independence in India, he has been chosen by the destiny for a sacrifice, and he is ready to go behind the bars, stay there for months for the country. And the volunteers are also ready to go behind the bars for the country. We believe that this is a vendetta politics, and it has nothing to do with excise or its policy. It is all around Gujarat elections. The BJP has one-to-one contest with Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat. The Prime Minister has been naming the Chief Minister of Delhi and Aam Aadmi Party in all his public meetings in Gujarat. The cabinet ministers of central government do press conferences against our Gujarat state president, who was an unknown till now, but they have...
Saurav, I give it to you. I give it to you. I'm not contesting the fact that you're putting a formidable challenge to the BJP in the state of Gujarat. I'm not contesting that. Charu made 2 points. I'll come to you. I'm coming to you, Saurav. I'm coming to you. That if the Delhi excise policy was so good, why did you withdraw it? Prima facie, is that an admission of guilt?
Yes. Yes. So now coming to the BJP spokesperson's logic. that if there was a policy which was rolled out and if it has been taken back, that means there is a scam and there should be a CBI inquiry which prima facie proves that there is a scam. Now, there were 3 farm laws which were brought in by the Prime Minister. He advocated. 700 people lost their lives and the policy was taken back. That means it was a scam and it should be investigated by the CBI and Prime Minister should be the prime accused by the same logic.
Is it fair to compare both of them?
Yes.
No,
yes.
he's comparing
There is a
Karelas to oranges here. It's not even apple to oranges. Sorry,
there is
this
a
is a
policy,
comparison of Karela to
if there is a
oranges.
policy, you
But,
take it back.
Anusha,
Charu, let him finish his point. Charu, let him finish his point. I'll come to you. I'll come
Okay.
to you. After this, I'll come to you.
Okay.
Sorry, finish
Now,
your point.
coming to the second point which CBI had made, that in such cases, you will not find money, you will not find anything, then why are you raiding? In last 4 months, CBI and ED have raided almost 500 times. And they have found nothing.
But Saurabh, how do you know they have found
Is a
nothing?
kind of a party.
The CBI is not supposed to come in the public domain and say, look, we found these papers. This is evidence on record. They will present it to the court. How do you know they have found nothing?
Let me just remind you, in case of Satyendra Jain, they found something with a distant relative of one of the persons who was known to Satyendra Jain.
Yeah.
And they did a whole spectacle out of it. They said, 2 crores have been recovered and this is all Satyendra Jain's money. They did it on the same day. And this is what CBI and ED does every time when they investigate.
Let me take that point to Charu.
Can I come in?
Charu, yes, you can
They will
respond
give
to
up
all
the
the points,
report.
but respond to this point specifically.
There
You
is that money has
said that if a
this
policy
money
is
belongs to
withdrawn, prima facie, there's some kind of admission of guilt. There is a different precedent that Saurabh is citing to you and saying that if that really is the case, then BJP has something to answer. Please go ahead, Charu.
So, Anusha, as I said earlier, I will not get into that discussion because it's like comparing a Karela to oranges. That just does not sound like the same kind of a thing at all. Here, there was a situation which caused our Prime Minister to feel that it could be a threat to India's security, and that is why we took certain steps. Let's not go there. The fact is, today, when CBI summons Mr. Sisodia, this entire drama club comes out to play and to perform. This entire drama club. The Chief Minister actually talks about and promotes lawlessness. The Chief Minister says, jail ke taale tootenge. Does it befit the Chief Minister of the capital of India to talk in this language for a mere summons? This is not an arrest, Saurabh. I know you're a very wise person and you understand the difference between summons and arrest. Why pretend? Why create this media drama? The theatrics that you've unfolded today is actually shameful. And I will go on and ask you again, when the sale of whiskey and wine and all alcohol in general has gone up tremendously by 80%, why is it that the exchequer is losing 50%, nearly 50% revenue?
Okay.
Where is this extra money
Okay,
going?
Saurabh,
And
why the
shouldn't it
drama?
be investigated
Why the
properly?
political drama, quote unquote, on the
He
streets
is
of the
not
national
a
capital?
martyr.
Saurabh,
Mr.
please respond to
Sisodia
that.
is not a martyr.
I think everybody should understand that these cases are political cases. They have nothing to do with any so-called scam. And I'll quote
No.
I'll quote you a few examples. Mr. Hemant Biswa Sharma, when he was in Congress, he was the most corrupt person in the northeastern India. BJP came up and published a booklet against Hemant Biswa Sharma that he is the prime accused. Water scam and Shada chit scam. There was a CBI ED inquiry against him, and today he is the chief minister of BJP in Assam.
But
The same happened
Saurabh,
when
that
the
doesn't
Adhikari-
make it any less that
No,
Mr.
the
Satyendra Jain has not been able to secure a bail so far. I mean, you may have a point to make about the BJP, but I'm asking from the point of citizens, people who vote for the Delhi government, people who vote for the Aam Aadmi Party, that why is it that Mr. Satyendra Jain has not been able to get a bail so far if this is a mere political witch hunt and vendetta?
Let's come to Satyendra Jain.
Yes.
Look, Satyendra Jain has been behind bars for 4 months, and BJP is saying that, look, he is behind bars, that means he is guilty. Now, what happened in that case? The same court which had kept Mr. Satyendra Jain behind bars for 4 months started asking pertinent questions from ED and CBI. She asked, what is the criminality? What is the criminality against Mr. Satyendra Jain? And ED was not able to answer the questions. And when ED and the central government felt that the court is about to discharge Mr. Satyendra Jain, they got the court changed.
Okay.
So can you imagine the kind of nervousness
in BJP that they go against the
Charu,
judge.
a quick
If the
response from you,
judge
then I want to bring
starts
in Namit and Mr.
asking-
Yashuvardhan Azad into the discussion.
So
A
that
quick
means-
response.
I'll be very quick. I know other panelists are waiting. Saurabh ji, simple बात बताइए. You're going to answer something. You're going for questioning. कि क्या तमाशा है? Why did you address that? तिलक लग रहे हैं, झंडे लहराए जा रहे हैं, रोड शो हो रहा है, ओपन SUV है, राजघाट जाया जा रहा है, आशीर्वाद लिया जा रहा है. What are you doing? What are you doing? जंग पे जा रहे हैं, Mr. Sisodia. Why are you creating this drama? Your chief minister and leader has always said that you will cooperate with investigation. Why not go to the office, cooperate with
Saurabh, 30
investigation?
seconds. Saurabh, 30 seconds.
without
Saurabh,
the
30
drama
seconds.
club
Okay,
unfolding.
first of all, CBI ने उनको बुलाया and he went there. We are cooperating. Second thing,
Is this cooperation? Why the drama?
We are not like Bangaru Lakshman, the ex-chief of BJP's national party who was caught on camera. We are not Bangaru Lakshman that we'll
But Saurabh,
hide
answer the
our-
point that
question.
Charu has been making
We
now,
have
that
done
why this
nothing.
political drama?
Nomination थोड़ी फाइल नहीं जा रहे Sisodia ji.
Okay, let me bring in,
Is he
let me
going to
also bring in
fight the
Namit
nomination
Saxena
or
into the
going for the
discussion.
political
Namit,
rally?
we heard the political discourse. It's full of whataboutery. It's full of, political jibes as expected out of the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. They are political competitors. Speaking from a legal point of view, we have looked at the FIR. This is a matter which is under investigation. I think summoning is a mere procedure which is to happen. But as far as this argument is concerned, that there were about 500 raids, there is nothing that has been found against Manish Sisodia. Is the agency really liable to put out in the public domain what they have found after the raids? Namit?
See, I'll tell you how CBI functions, and it is very important to understand how it functions. CBI follows something which is known as the CBI manual. It was, earlier of 1955, and now as recent as 2018, it has been amended. Now, under the CBI manual, and this is not only they're entitled to, the duty bound to follow what CBI manual says. Now, CBI manual directs CBI to, to in such cases where where the gravity of offence is such, what they have to do something which is known as a preliminary inquiry, something which is known as a PE. After conducting PE, they can either reach to a conclusion saying that there is nothing in the case, or they have to go one step ahead and do something which is known as an RC, a registered case. Till they complete their preliminary inquiry, they have to conduct raids, they have to conduct searches, they have to conduct seizures, they have to take people in custody, they have to do questioning, they have to do summoning, they have to do collection of evidence, they have to do picketing of evidence, everything they are duty bound to do. Now in this case, what is CBI doing? CBI is just following the CBI manual in letter and spirit. What is wrong in it? An accused, and he's the accused number one, Mr. Manish Sisodia. He can't shy away from investigation and say that, but because this is political, I don't want to participate or cooperate with the investigation. All this facade of, taking people, with him and, carrying on media, this is all, you can't scuttle investigation at this stage. After your summoning, after your questioning.
I mean, Mr. Sisodia has a legal route. He can go to a court and say, quash the FIR against me. There is no evidence against me. That route is open for any citizen of the country. Mr. Azad, I'm coming to you. Is there a way to really figure out for an ordinary citizen, ये political vendetta है और ये अच्छी investigation है, this is a good investigation happening, or we will always be lost in this political noise? Mr. Azad.
Well, let me tell you that the people are fully aware of what is happening on ground. And it is quite obvious to them what is the political part and what is the substantive part. In this particular case, on the face of it, there is nothing wrong. August 17, the FIR was registered. And since then, all the 31 searches have been held, everything has been done. And finally, after arresting a few people, because there are 10 liquor licensees also, they've taken statements of everything, and now they want to corroborate and they want to re-question Mr. Sisodia. Now, 2 months have already passed. This is also clear. If CBI would have certainly seized something really substantial, the leaks would have clearly come through. There's no doubt. This is happening. Unfortunately, these regimes, it shouldn't happen, but it is actually happening. Now, point number 3 is that if after so much, if even now the charge sheet is not filed, then it appears something is definitely wrong. Because
but they're still on time, right? There is still some time before they file a charge sheet, sir, right?
What I'm saying is you can't drag on an investigation endlessly like it is happening in certain cases. Now, number 3, as far as the opposition charge is concerned, that this is done with a time in mind, yes, it might. But you can't say that if there is an evidence, primary evidence, you can't lodge FIRs also. Absolutely. So this is catch in the tail.
I want to ask this question to Saurabh as well. Saurabh, you're a learned, educated citizen and a legislator. I want to ask you this. The BJP has been repeatedly asking you that why are you doing this political drama? But I'm asking you that if the Aam Aadmi Party and Mr. Sisodia believes that the case against them is absolutely motivated, there is no evidence to prove anything, why don't you move a quashing petition before any competent court of law? That's a legal option which is open to you. Why aren't you exercising it?
I think your viewers must understand that we have used these legal options in the case of Mr. Satyendra Jain. And after trial of 4 months, the trial judge was convinced that there is no criminality against Satyendra Jain, and she was asking questions. And ED, the Solicitor General, Mr. Tushar Mehta, was seeking time from the court that I'll argue next time. And when the judge was adamant that now you have to answer my questions, what is the criminality? They did not have answers, and then they say the judge is biased. Let's change the court. The same court which is keeping Mr. Jain behind bars for 4 months.
So did you move a quashing petition after that, Saurabh?
Because the court is asking questions from ED. Now, regarding the lawyer friend, one of the lawyer friends said that there should be a P and there should be an FIR. In this case, there was no P. There was a direct FIR. There is no scope of P here. Without investigating, without inquiring, without finding out
that actually
anything,
makes the case for the argument I am making to you constantly. That why aren't you going to a competent court and saying that, look, there was no P, look, they are not listening to us, look, there is no evidence, quash this case. In fact, all these arguments you can raise before a high court and say this is malified. Why aren't you doing it?
Even before the courts, you need some kind of honesty and impartiality on the part of investigating agencies. And I'm very sorry to say that today CBI and ED have been reduced to just mere, extensions of the party at center. And this is what we have seen in Hemant Biswa Sharma. He was the most corrupt.
Saurabh, the question about Hemant Biswa Sharma and the misuse of agencies, I'll take that to Charu. Saurabh, I'll take those questions to Charu. I'll take those questions to Charu. But you haven't answered my question. Why aren't you exercising your legal options if you have faith in your fair and clean politics?
No, because it is too premature. Today CBI will say that we are inquiring.
I'll come to you, Charu.
They will say that, sir, we are inquiring into it. We are in the stage of investigation. So we will not get relief. And then there will be headlines in the TV.
Charu, answer this point, which is that there are why is it that the corrupt are found only in the opposition ranks? Repeatedly, the opposition parties are saying that you're misusing Enforcement Directorate and CBI, and the entire timing of it being politically mature cannot be ignored. Please go ahead, Charu.
So, Anusha, first of all, I'd like to point out that the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson has essentially exposed that he's got zero faith in the Indian judiciary. That is what he is saying, and I don't know how all the judges, all the hard-working lawyers, in fact, add to that all the officers and staff of CBI and ED are listening to this. Like, with one brush, you're painting every single responsible officer, judicial officer and otherwise black, just because it suits your motive. And as for the timing of inquiry, Anusha, I've said this before multiple times and I will say it again. In our country, there is an election every couple of months. Our inquiry is going to wait around for 2 years of uninterrupted time.
Point taken. Also answer the point that why is it only the opposition leaders which are under the scanner?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Have you filed a complaint against anyone? Please give us more details. Let CBI open a file. Know of what is important.
Saurabh, you're laughing. Do you have a point to make? Did you file a complaint that has not been pursued?
You're not even making use of any legal right which is available to you as a citizen of India, which is available to everyone.
Saurabh, that's the point that I've heard a lot of BJP spokesperson raising, that you make this hue and cry about, look, CBI is not going after BJP leaders. Look, there are no investigations happening against them. Why don't you exercise your right? Why don't you go to a court? Why don't you lodge complaints?
This is the kind of argument which they have taken when they are in the center. When Congress was in center, why didn't BJP go to the courts? Why was BJP making so much of hue and cry? And why was the Prime Minister, when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he was making so much hue and cry about the CBI? There are so many,
No. 1 minute.
where he
Can I?
and cry.
No, it was actually the Supreme Court of India which had something to say about the CBI. I'm aware of that, Charu. Yeah,
it was State Panic, and the current Prime Minister, when he was summoned, did not create this drama for media to follow. He went.
No, but Saurabh, one thing, Saurabh, that stands out for me is that you have pointed out about how BJP has taken Hemant Biswa Sarma or XYZ leader and now they are not corrupt. You're also making a point that they're misusing. But on the substance of the matter, you have not answered me. A, that why aren't you approaching courts? B, why have you made such a big, show about all of this? And there is a fair point that elections happen in this country every year. The timing of it is always going to be wrong, one way or the other.
I think they are just manipulating. Whenever there's a Bengal election, then the timing is that CBI and ED starts targeting leaders who are in a position in Bengal. When there is an election in Assam, then CBI and ED goes to Assam. Now there is an election in Gujarat.
No, I'm sorry. 1 minute.
So
Did you not see visuals of stacks of notes which came out from the house of a TMC leader's girlfriend? Did you miss seeing that? When are the elections in Bengal now? Did you miss seeing those visuals? Maybe Anusha and News 18 can help you. Maybe then you'll be reminded. There are no elections in Bengal currently. I am sorry, Saurabh. Now this is a lot of whataboutery and a lot of rhetoric with no substance.
Just before elections were raided by CBI and ED. Is it not a fact? And then they both came into the BJP and the CBI ED gave them a
Saurabh, मान लेते हैं Saurabh कि इन लोगों ने political timing से किया है. उसके बावजूद भी substance पे तो आपने जवाब अभी भी नहीं दिया मुझे. Timing मान लेते हैं लेकिन substance तो एक अलग बात है ना, Saurabh.
नहीं मैं timing भी नहीं मान रही हूँ.
नहीं, for the sake of the argument, Charu, for the sake of the argument, let's take it on timing, but the answer has to be given on the substance of it, na?
I don't know if he heard me talk about the TMC leader's girlfriend's house is
okay, let him respond. I'm short of time. Saurabh, please go ahead and respond. Saurabh, please go ahead and respond.
Saurabh, can you just go back to the timeline of that particular case?
All right, Charu, let him respond. Let him respond. I have 30 seconds. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, just because BJP leaders are alleging that there is substance, I should believe that there is substance. Arey, you are not able to prove anything in the court. You have been against our MLAs for 8 years. You have looked into 450 files through Shunglu committee. You have raided the Chief Minister's office 5 years back. You have found nothing.
All right, I am absolutely short of time, but I haven't got answers on the substance of it. Namit Saxena, Charu Pragya, Saurav Bharadwaj, Yashovardhan Azar, thank you all for joining us. This war of words between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP will continue. Meanwhile, the questioning at the CBI office of Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, that's also underway. We'll continue getting you all the updates right now. It's a wrap from my side. Ridhima joins you with the biggest exclusive. Good evening. Thanks a lot for staying with us here at CNN News 18. You're watching the biggest exclusive tonight. I'm Ridhima Bhatnagar. At a time when the Congress party is facing challenges of its loyalists leaving the party, infighting within the party and a low electoral success across the country, today over 9,000 Pradesh Congress Committee delegates voted to choose their next president. Now the election is simple. It's between two contestants. It's Mallikarjun Kharge on one side and Shashi Tharoor on the other. While Mallikarjun Kharge has been considered the Gandhi family's official candidate with a large number of senior leaders backing him, Shashi Tharoor has pitched himself as a candidate of change. This will be only the 6th time in the Congress's nearly 137-year-old history that an electoral contest would decide who would take up the mantle of the party's president. The current interim party president, Sonia Gandhi, said she's been waiting for this day for a long time. While the Congress has called this a democratic process, the BJP on expected lines has called this move a sham and have said whoever comes in as the new president will just be a remote control and the final control and decisions will still be taken by the Gandhis. So the big question is, will this next president of the Congress party actually pave way for change or will it just be a remote control president?
Are you happy? I have been waiting for a long time for this day.
It's a historic day for Congress. For the first time in 24 years, a non-Gandhi is set to take over the party. 9,000 delegates lined up in 48 polling stations to cast their vote for either Mallikarjun Kharge or Shashi Tharoor. Kharge is being seen as the approved candidate who filed his nomination at the 11th hour. But he maintains the Gandhis are not involved.
Some people, they are practicing or they are always defaming Gandhi family. That much I can tell. And purposely asking this question repeatedly, it means there is something I can say.
Ahead of the elections, Tharoor had alleged an uneven playing field and claimed that several state party chiefs had chosen to campaign for Kharge and not him.
My fate and the future of the Congress party is in their hands. I'm sure that whatever judgment they exercise will be in the best interest of the party.
Elections are being held 3 years after Rahul Gandhi stepped down from the top post following Congress's second straight defeat in Lok Sabha elections.
Thank you. Thank you.
His mother Sonia Gandhi has been the party's interim president since then. Despite pressure from a section of Congress leaders, Rahul Gandhi refused to return as Congress chief. Instead, he's leading the party's Bharat Jodo Yatra, walking from Kanyakumari to Kashmir in a Padyatra which is being seen as an attempt to revive Congress's fortunes ahead of the 2024 general elections.
मैसेज भी गया है कि राहुल गांधी जी जो यात्रा कर रहे हैं उसमें एक संदेश क्या है? संदेश वो है जो देश के फ्यूचर से जुड़ा हुआ है, भविष्य से जुड़ा हुआ है, प्यार मोहब्बत भाईचारा सद्भावना का माहौल बने देश के अंदर. उसी रूप में चुनाव जो हो रहे हैं इनर पार्टी डेमोक्रेसी का प्रतीक है चुनाव ये.
So at the end of the day, will the next Congress party chief simply be a proxy for the Gandhi family?
Let me also now first bring in my colleague and senior editor Pallavi Ghosh, who's been tracking all these developments for us. Pallavi, what I find very difficult to understand is what is the intent behind as far as these elections are concerned. The Congress is saying it's a democratic process. It's up for anybody who actually wants to contest as far as the party president is concerned. But the minute you have so many people coming out openly backing Mallikarjun Kharge, doesn't it then become amply clear, one, who is the, unofficial official candidate and the one who actually has the backing of the Gandhis as well?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ridhima, but they began with a very good intention, and the intention was essentially to make the point that this was a real election, and that's why Sonia Gandhi would keep on making this message across even to us and also to every party colleague who would meet her, that I'm not going to decide who should be fighting and who should not be fighting. I'm just going to go and cast my vote. And as she said earlier today, this is something I have been waiting for years. But if you look at the sequence of events which followed after that, Ashok Gehlot, then he decides not to file the nomination papers because Sonia Gandhi was upset with the state of affairs in Rajasthan and the way the situation was handled. Then you have a Mallikarjun Kharge, and Kharge going on record not once but repeatedly to make the point that there should be a consensus candidate, which means that there should be only one person who contests the elections. And I think the worst of it all was when Shashi Tharoor at a press conference right over here said that, he was facing a treatment which was very preferential to Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. I think at that point of time, the lid was off. So even if the Congress party wants to flaunt the fact that they are holding elections for the top post, these kind of statements coming from their own leaders actually completely contradicts the perception that they're trying to build up.
And the other problem also is, which of course the BJP is also now using to mount its attack, is that even if you have a Mallikarjun Kharge becoming the party president, it'll be a remote controlled party president. And he's gone on to record to say that there will be no qualms in taking advice or help as far as the Gandhis are concerned. Then is this process even needed?
Yeah, exactly. And we are not saying it. Mr. Kharge himself said it. And not just yesterday, Ridhima, he said it earlier also at a press conference. When I remember I was there and we asked him this question. He said he still considers the Gandhis to be their leaders and he'll do what they tell him to do. Now, that's not the way a Congress president or a would-be Congress president talks like that. Because this is always going to be giving rise to the speculation that can the Gandhis completely give up control of the Congress party? Will they? Or will there be a kind of a remote control? And will voices soon start emerging, maybe after a couple of months, that it would have been better if a Gandhi family member had become the head of the party?
Pallavi, quickly, before I let you go, also, I want to understand what is going to be the immediate challenge for this new party president. Infighting is something that you've been highlighting. There are elections due and, of course, the larger picture for 2024. How is the Congress planning to tackle all of this with the new party president?
Well, ironically, one of the first challenges they'll have to deal with is in Rajasthan. Mr. Kharge and Ajay Maken had gone to Jaipur to sort out the problem. And the reason why Kharge had to contest is also because that problem just emerged. So that's going to be one crisis he'll have to decide whether There is one, whether Sachin Pilot can become the CM. The second most important thing, I think, is the upcoming elections, Gujarat and Himachal. No one has gone there and campaigned. The Bharat Jodo Yatra is not touching these two states. In fact, Ridhima, Kharge and Tharoor themselves, while campaigning, did not even go to both these two states. So that's going to be the next big challenge for them.
Lastly, Pallavi, I also quickly want to understand, you did touch upon this, as far as the contenders were concerned, Shashi Tharoor came out with a very clear campaign, which is a campaign for change, because he feels that there are some changes that are needed to revive this party. Sources within the party, what was their feeling about Shashi Tharoor?
But I mean, the fact that, there are not too many takers for him and not many people are wanting him to become the Congress president. And here I'm talking about the senior leadership of the Congress party is because they don't think that he can be the man who can lead the pack. They feel that Mr. Kharge has the kind of gravitas. He also is senior. And, a Congress president also has to negotiate with other opposition political parties. They feel that Mr. Tharoor may not be able to do so. And Kharge can at a critical time like this when we're looking at the Lok Sabha elections just a couple of years away.
Okay, Pallavi, we'll leave the conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us all those details. This is also an important time for us to really talk to you about who the contenders are as far as the race to become the next party president for the Congress party. Let's just do a quick SWOT analysis of what really works in the favor of Mallikarjun Kharge and what works in the favor of Shashi Tharoor. Let's first talk to you about Mallikarjun Kharge. What is his strength? As we've been pointing out, he's seen somebody who's close to the Gandhis. He's also now being seen as the official candidate. But what is the weakness? Age is not really on his side, and there is no real connect outside the state of Karnataka. But there is obviously an opportunity for him. Karnataka Assembly polls are due next year, so he could use his fan base there on the ground. But what is the threat? Seen as controlled by the Gandhis. And when he comes out and says that there is no qualm to take some sort of help or advice from the Gandhis, the attack is that this is going to be a remote-controlled party president. Let's now talk to you about Shashi Tharoor, who's the other contender. The strength is he's extremely articulate, appeal among upwardly mobile. What is the weakness? Not really a mass leader, lacks organizational experience, but the opportunity for Tharoor can be seen as a fresh start for the Congress, and this is exactly what his pitch point for his campaign has been, a campaign for change. What is the threat? Had to quit as MOS faced inquiry over his wife Sunanda Pushkar's death, and he's also openly spoken about how it's been really unfair because a lot of the party leaders have already come out in support the likes of Mallikarjun Kharge, and this is where it becomes interesting. While the Congress is saying that this is a democratic process, we are not really favoring anybody. You've had these list of leaders who've already come out and given their support to Mallikarjun Kharge. You had Ashok Gehlot, who was once seen in the running as far as the party president is concerned. Then you've already had Congress MP Manish Tiwari. You've got the likes of former Defence Minister A.K. Antony. You've got former INB Minister Ambika Soni, Mukul Vasnik, and the list really is long. Even Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Siddharamaiah, Ajay Makhad, Bhupinder Hooda, the former Haryana Chief Minister, Digvijay Singh, who's a Congress MP, Prithviraj Chavan, former Maharashtra Chief Minister, they've all already backed Mallikarjun Kharge. Thus raising the question, is this really a democratic process? So the question that we want to discuss over the next 30 minutes is, even as the race for the Congress president is on, is it really a democratic process or is it just optics? Let me also now introduce our guest who takes the discussion forward. We have spokesperson of the BJP, Anuja Kapoor. We have spokesperson of the Congress, Mahima Singh. We have senior journalist, Hemant Atri. We also have political analyst, Varun Singh. Good to have all of you on the broadcast with us. Mahima Singh, let me begin with you. The big question that is being asked, not just by the opposition, by many others, is that yes, the Congress is claiming that this is a democratic process. Anybody was allowed to throw their hat in the ring. And there are no favorites as far as the Gandhis are concerned. Well, that was fine till the time you had these long list of people who came out and openly supported Mallikarjun Kharge. I just put that list out. Doesn't it then nullify the entire process?
How does it, Ridhima? Because we recently saw in the country there was a presidential poll, and we understand the value of consensus and saving the ado for everybody. And indeed, there was an attempt by the most senior leaders of the party to approach, both the candidates to actually come at a consensus. And if that is possible, then the election would be avoided. But since that could not have been reached, So, of course, those who have supported Mallikarjun Kharge have done so openly, and I don't see anything wrong in that. There were people who supported one presidential candidate for the presidential polls. There were parties who came together to say that we'll be supporting this candidate.
No, the reason that I asked you this, Mahima, is because the Congress themselves has been saying that you need to respect the entire process. You're taking the moral ground saying that look at us, we at least have elections. But the minute you come out and already support one contender over the other, one, is it fair to the other contender who's still in the running? And secondly, is it fair to the election process? Because on one hand, you have the Gandhis and the top leadership saying we're not favoring anyone. The minute you have a revolt in Rajasthan, Ashok Gehlot, who was seen as a top contender, is removed from that running. He goes to meet Sonia Gandhi in the national capital. A lot of drama plays out. And then, as far as Mallikarjun Kharge is concerned, you already have leaders backing him. Then is Shashi Tharoor wrong in believing that it's already been unfair from day one?
Which party doesn't have internal dynamics? These are the internal dynamics of my party, and that's an internal matter for us. Whatever went on, whatever will go on. But as far as the election is concerned, we have had 17 presidents so far in our 137-year-old history, and out of those 17, it has been 5 times before that elections were conducted to elect a president. In fact, once it was a triangular poll. So this is for the 6th time that the election has been conducted. But that doesn't mean that all the other presidents, the rest of the 12 presidents which came without an election, were not as relevant to the party. In fact, everybody has played their important role. Everybody has significantly contributed to the growth of the party, and thus the growth of the nation with the party as the contribution of the Congress. So I don't see a point here. Why should we be debating about whether this is a democratic election or not? Indeed, it is a democratic process. Since morning today, it was seen our party president, erstwhile party presidents, all our Bharat Yatris, everybody came out to vote. All the delegates have voted, and the result will be out on the 19th. I don't see where or how is it not democratic.
Okay. Anuja Kapoor responds to what Mahima Singh and the Congress party at large are saying, that this is an internal matter for us. We're at least carrying out an election. The BJP is a no moral ground because they don't even conduct one.
If it is an internal matter for Congress, please keep it behind the doors. Don't make it open and show off to everybody, because this is what is happening, where the Rahul Gandhi ji is going out on streets for Bharat Jodo, and the president, the new elected president, would be on one side. So why is Rahul Gandhi ji is on the streets, and what is his career? I don't understand. One. Secondly, what they're trying to do is, Ridhima ji, they're trying to elect a Dalit president, so that they can target a particular community. So Kharge ji is, if he's going to be elected, so they are going to target a Dalit community. So what they are looking into is, as you talk about Shashi, so Shashi Tharoor is all into one of the, a criminal charge. Now, whatever you say, he's still there. So what we are looking into is the scams of Congress when they were there. So what we need to understand is why did Congress is washed out from this country, except from 2 states. Why it happened? This is the major point to understand. When Congress was in support with public, why was it washed off? What were the reasons? And if this is the reasons what people have chosen over and chosen BJP as their political party, they have to understand why. Rather, they have to learn from BJP how BJP is a Pradhan Sevak.
No, but Anuja Kapoor, to be fair to the Congress, fair to the Congress, they're saying, one, the larger issue is that we're at least a party that even goes forward with a process like this. And the other is that we didn't really put a cap on who can contend and who cannot. It was open to all. Whoever wanted to come forward came forward, even with the likes of Shashi Tharoor, who's had differences, who's spoken, vocally against the Gandhis as far as some policies are concerned. Today, even he's being given an equal opportunity. So how can you question as far as the process is concerned?
Look, it is not about the process. This is all a rubber stamp stuff. This is all a puppet stuff. What do you think? What do you think? Sonia Gandhi ji is the ultimate power. Whatever is happening is trying to show to the larger people around that this is what they are believing in the process. If it was in the process, You have seen there was a various kind of an upraise which happened when Ashok Gehlot ji was trying to contest. He didn't want to leave being as a CM. He had a problem with Sachin, and so there are problems which are inside. If this is the real thing, then why did they wait it for 24 years? So
no,
I don't
but
understand.
this is where it becomes interesting, and I want to bring Varun in the conversation. Varun, this is where the Congress is saying that you keep criticizing us all year long, saying we can't go beyond the Gandhis. Okay, this time around when the elections are taking place, the Gandhis are nowhere as far as the contenders are concerned. Rahul Gandhi, after he stepped down, he had made it amply clear that I have no interest as far as running the party is concerned. Sonia Gandhi also today said that I've really waited for this day for a long time, quite literally. So the Congress is saying, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Varun, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
Can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm saying, at least for the first time, you can see the Congress is doing something right. And I could hear the BJP spokesperson fumbling. So, but to be honest, who the Congress elects, a Dalit, upper caste, they are electing a Congress leader as their president. In material, whether it is a farce, it was known from day one that whosoever comes in will be a rubber stamp, will be someone who would be representing the Gandhis. May it have been a Digvijay Singh or may it be a Kharge. The bigger question for spokespersons of Congress, especially to Mahima, would be that in the future, who will she represent? If Kharge says something and if Rahul Gandhi says something else, she will be seen defending what Rahul Gandhi is going to say, because that is basic how Congress is, and you cannot take it away. We have seen it during Manmohan Singh government's regime also, that how Rahul Gandhi, in spite of a prime minister sitting over there, a cabinet passing an ordinance, he sat with spokesperson and tore the ordinance. So the impact or the presence or the precedence of Congress being under the influence of Gandhis cannot be taken away. Immaterial who becomes the president. That is secondary. Till the time there are Gandhis in the party, the spokespersons, the leaders, everyone are going to go to Gandhi. Gandhi will become a superpower now.
Hemant, respond to what Varun is saying. He's saying you can continue having all these elections all you want. You can have whoever the contender is. But the end result will be that the Gandhis will still be in control of the party. This will only be a remote control party president.
How can there is no confusion over it. See, in every party, there is always a possibility of having one party president, and then there is somebody who is the leader of the party. In the BJP, if you see, there is Mr. JP Nadda. Can he take independent decisions? My simple question. So there are two leaders, Mr. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah. They are there, and JP Nadda is party president. Here also, if there is Mr. Kharge is the party president and Rahul Gandhi is taking on some Padyatra or something like that, and if party accepts him as a leader, what problem you and me can have? That is point number one. Number two, in every political party, forget about A, B, C or D. As far as internal party democracy is concerned, the situation remains same. Every party has a leader, and everybody else in the party has to follow it. There is no confusion over it.
Okay.
At least there is some uptakes in Congress party after a long time, say after 24 years, once there is a non-Gandhi for the sake of it, that he is not contesting. This is something interesting now. The real issue, Ridhimaji, is somewhat else. How Mr. Kharge will be able to run the party? Will he be able to or not? How much interference he will be getting from Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi in day-to-day?
So we've assumed Mallikarjun Kharge is becoming the next party president. We're not even waiting till 19th or giving Shashi Tharoor a fair chance. Okay, but let me bring Mahima back in the conversation. Mahima, there seems to be a consensus on the panel where it's almost a given that Mallikarjun Kharge will be the next party president. But keeping that aside, as far as hypothetical talk is concerned, the point that Hemant is making is very, very crucial, which is that whoever comes out as a winner as far as this election is concerned, there is going to be a lot of immediate challenges for that party president. Let's first begin as far as the infighting within Rajasthan is concerned. That problem still continues. Sachin Pilot versus Ashok Gehlot. Does the Congress have a plan? As far as state elections are concerned, Himachal and Gujarat, you're already seeing the BJP put up an aggressive plan. You're seeing their top leaders on the ground, and then the larger plan for 2024. Is that game plan being readied by the Congress already?
Before I come to your question, Ridhima, when I was listening to the BJP spokesperson, The 2 points that I registered out of a 3-4 minute repetitive narrative was that number one, she said that this is not democratic, and she felt that it's not internal, and why are we putting it out? Why are we publicizing it? That's what I gathered. And number two, she said that by putting out a Dalit candidate, or nobody is putting him out, by having a Dalit candidate who has a strong probability of winning, she thinks that we are trying to play some caste politics. So, first of all, I would like to come to that point, because the BJP has fielded twice, Mr. Kovind and now our Honorable President, Ms. Murmu, both Dalit candidates, tribal candidate, one Dalit and one tribal candidate. So, is she trying to share with us the mindset of the BJP behind bringing these candidates at the helm of the country? Also, when she talks about why is it in the public, because that's how democracy functions. It doesn't function in private rooms like demonetization. Yes, it
Fair enough.
happened.
Maima, I just wanted a clarity as far as the game plan that is being readied by the Congress, and also the charge that this is just going to be a remote control party president. You have the likes of Amit Malviya, who just tweeted saying and taken a dig at Manmohan, saying that he must be a relieved man today because he'll pass on the mantle to Mallikarjun Kharge. How is the Congress responding to the allegations that whatever said and done, it will still be a remote control party president?
Well, I just wish to enlighten these, people who, they have their own IQ and their own thought process. I just like to add to their knowledge that Congress has had 17 presidents, out of which only five have been from the Gandhi family. Rest of them have been non-Gandhians. In fact, once there was a case when Mahatma Gandhi's candidate actually lost the election when it was so. I don't think that that's the case here, that anybody is going to be remote controlled. Mr. Kharge has been our LOP in the parliament.
True.
He has a stature of his own. I think these people are insulting the public mandate of a 7-time continuous winner, in Karnataka. That's Mr. Kharge, and who's been an LOP continuously for all these years in the parliament. He has got his own intellect, his stature, his style. We'll see when he leads the party from the front. We'll see. We'll learn his style, and we'll fall in line. We'll all fall in line with the new president. As far as his strategies and his roadmaps will be concerned, as he looks at the future of the party.
I know Varun wants to come in. I also know Anuja wants to come in. Anuja, I want you to respond to what Maima is saying. She's saying, what moral high ground does the BJP have? Every party or every organization has a hierarchy in place, and there are certain protocols that need to be followed. In the BJP, you have their top leadership taking the calls. So why is only the Congress being cornered?
At least we don't have a Sitaram Kesriji's case in our BJP. What they have done with Sitaram Kesriji, everybody know how his dhoti was being pulled up. And that is in Congress only. And now they're talking about being a puppet and talking about all other things. So these are the same people, the people who wants to make their own ideology. They take out the dhoti of those people, and this is how it happens. And now I also want to put it across, Rimaji, so just wait for a minute. I just also want to put it across. It's your people who pulled down Draupadi Murmu ji, the Ajoy Kumar and Adhir Ranjan ji and Udit Raj. So don't tell me about this. If you talk about Dalits, this is what we are telling you. You also have people in your own category, in your own cadre. So targeting Draupadi Murmu ji on that and telling that this is the contender of BJP or something of this. So this is highly shameful. So go back in your own era, talk about Sitaram Kesriji, then talk about the many other things which Congress has been doing.
Okay. Let's not get personal here on this panel, Anuja. Point well heard. Varun, I believe you want to come in.
Out and fall. I just
to be honest, for the first time, I am of the opinion on your show, Ridhima, that someone from the BJP is unable to make the point properly. I don't think we should be getting Sitaram Kesri over here, because there are multiple examples of having sidelined. But the point of Congress putting up a face like Mallikarjun Kharge, and everyone since day one knows that he is going to be remote controlled, how Mr. Manmohan Singh was during all the 10 years of UP rule. There is no denial. The point over here is now Rahul Gandhi at least is a free man. He should now hear to the opinions and advices that his leaders are giving. The former Goa CM has categorically stated it. Please, Baba, leave this Bharat Jodo. Elections are going to happen in Gujarat or and Himachal. Go there. Please focus over there. Yeah, to it can only mean two things. Either they know that they are not going to win Gujarat and Himachal, so why waste time over there and spend as much as time they can in Karnataka and Kerala, which are showing some prospects of Congress coming back. Or either they know that they can do nothing without Rahul Gandhi and he has to be.
Okay.
He has to be there on that tone. Okay. But I think now Rahul Gandhi should work independently. He has got a lot of time and he should be doing it.
Okay, we'll really have to see what the revival plan of the Congress is. Come 19th, we'll have a clarity as far as the party president also is concerned. Unfortunately, I've completely run out of time. I appreciate all the guests who took out their time to join us this evening. I quickly do have to shift our focus to some updates coming in. Now we're understanding the juvenile accused of 2017 Gurugram school murder case shall now be tried as an adult. Now, the Juvenile Justice Board has stated that the decision was taken after examining the mental stability of the accused. What we're also understanding is the trial will begin on the 31st of October. My colleague Ananya Bhatnagar is getting us all these details now, joining us on the broadcast. Ananya, on what basis has this decision been taken to try the juvenile as an adult?
Well, whenever an accused is above the age of 16 and there is a contradiction that he might have had an adult mind, then under Section 15 of the JJB Act, the JJB court, the Children's Court, can actually order for a psycho and physical analysis of the particular child to take place, wherein it is seen that whether this child can actually commit a crime as an adult. Does he have an adult mind? Does he have the adult force to commit this particular crime? And after all of these psycho analytical tests that are done, and in fact after consulting a counselor, the Juvenile Justice Board today has ruled that the accused into this particular case, the child in conflict with law in this particular case, would now be tried and accused into this particular case. Remember that the charges was of murder 302, and hence he will be produced before a sessions court of Gurugram on October 31, when the trial in this particular case would begin. Remember that this is in like 30 days that this is the second time that the JJB has ordered child in conflict with law to be tried as an adult in a particular case. Remember that last time it happened a month back in the Jubilee Hills case in Hyderabad, where one of the out of the 5 accused into that particular case, 4 were said to be tried as in fact an adult. And now in this particular case as well, there is that this person would be tried, this child in conflict with law would be tried as an adult. So the trial would begin on October 31, when he will be produced before a sessions court in Gurugram, and then the court would be recording his submissions, his statement in chief, and then a cross-examination of all of the witnesses and the accused would take place in this particular case, and then the court would rule on as to whether charges are made against him or not.
Sure. Ananya, thanks a lot for getting us those details. That's the update, that the juvenile accused of 2017 Gurugram school murder case will now be tried as an adult. With that, it's a wrap from my side. Plain Speak with Shivani is up next.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Manish Sisodia is being questioned for the very first time in the Delhi excise policy case today. Such has been the preemptive hysteria from the Aam Aadmi Party, you would almost forget the concerned minister is facing serious charges and questioning for the very first time. As would be normal in any investigation, that one of the accused, in fact accused number 1, is questioned not only once but possibly many times. But led by Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, the Aam Aadmi Party declared last evening itself that Sisodia will be arrested today, and that all of this is being done with an eye on the Gujarat elections. Certainly, the party that hopes to make a dent in the poll-bound state of Gujarat will use the questioning of one of its most prominent faces prominently in the campaign. But the question we ask today, can the optics witnessed today in the national capital or to follow, if indeed Manish Sisodia is arrested or otherwise, really answer the questions of the alleged scam itself? We will take that to our guests in just a bit, but first, it's been almost exactly 2 months since the FIR in the Delhi excise policy scam was initiated. Let's take a look at what all action has been taken against Manish Sisodia, particularly since then. July 22 was when the Delhi LG recommended a probe into the excise policy. Then, almost a month later, CBI filed its FIR against 15 individuals. Manish Sisodia was the accused number 1. The same day, August 19, CBI also conducted searches including at the minister's residence. After almost 2 weeks, they also checked Manish Sisodia's bank lockers in Ghaziabad. Meanwhile, late last month, Sisodia's alleged close aide, Vijay Nair, was arrested. In fact, that was amongst the first few arrests that were made by the investigative agencies in this case. And today, CBI is quizzing Manish Sisodia for the very first time. Does it then warrant such a hullabaloo? Let's take a look at the chain of events, the scam as it were, as alleged by the investigating agencies. Manish Sisodia, Delhi Deputy Chief Minister, is accused of, quote, deliberate procedural lapses. Vijay Nair, already arrested, former CEO of Only Much Louder. He is accused of collecting funds from middlemen. Sameer Mahendru, also arrested, Managing Director, Indo-Spirit Group. He is accused of making illegal payments to Sisodia's aide. Then there are the likes of Dinesh Arora, alleged associate of Sisodia, allegedly collected money from liquor makers. Arjun Pandey, also alleged to be close to Sisodia, and collected allegedly money on behalf of the minister concerned from liquor makers. Boinpalli Abhishek Rao is another accused who has been arrested. He is the co-director of Robin Distribution and allegedly pocketed commissions from liquor firms as well. All of this is as per the August 17 FIR in this case. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party may be making this into some sort of a political slugfest, but remember, charges and sections applied against Manish Sisodia are quite serious, and at the very heart of it is the question of corruption. Let's take a look at those sections. So, Section 7 of the Public Service Act, this is pertaining to public servants taking bribes. The punishment for this can be anywhere between 6 months to 5 years imprisonment. Then there is Section 477 of the IPC, which is falsification of accounts, up to 7 years imprisonment. And all of these individuals have also been booked under Section 120B of the IPC, which is criminal conspiracy, when you conspire with others. And the sentence in this section depends on the other sections that you're convicted of eventually. So the big question we asked today, the optics that we will show you in just a bit, help the Aam Aadmi Party divert the Liquorgate questions. Because remember, at the end of it, it is just questioning that is taking place today. We all knew this was going to happen. But take a look at what all transpired in the national capital and even in Gujarat today.
जिस तरह से बापू को षड्यंत्र में फंसा के अंग्रेजों की सरकार ने झूठे मुकदमे कर करके जेल में भेजा, आज मेरे ऊपर भी एक फर्जी मुकदमा करके मुझे जेल भेजने की तैयारी की जा रही है।
जो लोग नफरत फैलाते हैं, दंगे फसाद कराते हैं, जो लोग हिंसा फैलाते हैं, उन पे तो कार्रवाई नहीं कर रहे।
जैसे ही 8 तारीख को नतीजे आएंगे, गुजरात में आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनेगी, जेल के ताले टूटेंगे, मनीष सिसोदिया छूटेंगे।
जिस प्रकार से मनीष सिसोदिया आज एक खुले कार में अपने समर्थकों के साथ नारे लगाते हुए, फूल माला डाले हुए निकले हैं, ऐसा लग रहा है मानो कोई किला फतेह करके वापस आ रहा है। It seems as if the Aam Aadmi Party has won the World Cup of corruption.
Let's go across to the guests joining us. Priyanka Kakkar of the Aam Aadmi Party is joining us. Shazia Ilmi of the BJP. I'm also joined by Rashid Kidwai, author and senior journalist, Tushar Gupta, senior editor, Swarajya Magazine, Umesh Sehgal, former Chief Secretary of the National Capital, and AP Singh, former Director of the CBI. Priyanka, let me begin with you.